let's make a new playground this time. And I'm going to call it starting coding. Make it over. Oh, I already had something made like that. Let me actually one thing just so I can do this. If I type something, yeah, now it works. So it's basically going to print out, like, if you set something to it, it's gonna like say that. So basically, a var is a variable, and it's just called a var in Swift 3. Basically, variables you can use to store all sorts of data, and then you can change it later. There's a bunch of different types of variables I can set. Let me say them. So there's like integers, which are basically just like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like -1. They're just whole numbers. Doubles are like basically decimals. And this is something interesting in programming, is you can't add an integer and a double unless you do stuff to them. Like, so x should be an integer if I add another variable. X plus y. It's gonna give me a whole bunch of errors. But if I do something like this, where I purposely change x into a double, it should work. Yeah. There's one. So yeah. Basically, yeah, that was good. There's not just number variables too. There's strings, like this one, for example. This is a string, where it's just a chain of different characters. You can have numbers inside, like that, for example, but it'll still be inside the string. I believe if you have a variable like this, you can actually set, if it's just like that, you can set, no you can't, never mind, I was wrong. Can you? Yeah, you can. Okay. If you just have this, you can change into that, but if I type in like this, yeah, it's gonna say nil, because it's not possible. But there's also bools where it's either true or false. I can set this to true. And that's helpful if you just want to have, like, if this is running, have this like be false, and then it won't run, for example, and something else won't run. There's also arrays, which are basically like more complicated. They're still variables, but like, you can store multiple values, and it's just separated by commas. They don't have to all be the same type. Like, alright, I need to just make this a string. And that's basically, oh, whoops, forgot to do this. And so that basically, oh, maybe I do need to do that. I don't know. I haven't used variables in a long time. I'm just calling my variables literally random things. This should be fun. It's just because I'm mixing them, right? If you want to do that, you have to do this. But basically, if you want to find sort of an object in an array, it doesn't count. Like, you normally would think this one would be number 1, this one would be number 2, this one would be number 3, and this one would be number 4. But the first one's actually 0. So if I do 0, it's going to print 3. I don't know why it has that. It should just, if I have it to 1, it should actually do 5. Yeah. I don't know why it does this. Anyway. So, you can also add and remove variables, kind of. Now you can also add and remove things to arrays. Like basically, this would be at 4, for example. And then if I printed, oops, what's that? And it basically bumps the other ones down. Like you can see here, it does that. If I were to change this, it would just replace it and then bump the other ones down, basically. So, there's other things such as like, there's sort of like conditional statements, like if statements, else statements. So it's like if something is this, then you can run this. If it's not, run this, basically. So it's true. Oops. And for if statements, you want to be using double equals, or just like a regular operator, like I probably should use an integer. For example, like that, you can just do this. This is greater than equal to. This is greater than, less than equal to. But this is equal. Because if you just do this, it'll give you an error. Because this is used to set. Yeah, it's gonna give me an error. Yeah. Because this is used to set variables and stuff. That happens, I can have it print hi, example, and then an else statement doesn't require this. It's just gonna be just have it like that. And yeah, it's gonna run this instead of this. See how there's nothing over here? That's because it doesn't fit this condition, so it just goes right to the else statement. And it's printing it down here also. If you set it like this, that's not equal to, which means this should run. Yeah. That's basically it. Is there anything else? No, you can also use this for other things like bools and stuff. Like if I set this A, since A is true, it's going to print this. So that's basically it for variable types. Yeah.